Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are the Lions.
Friday night was the Matt Lato show, a dominant outing on the mound and adding his own offense with a two-run homer. Last night was an oldie but a goodie as veterans Miguel Cairo and Scott Rowland came up big in another close Reds win. Today, can the Reds continue the hottest streak in team history and put even more distance between them and the Pirates with a 3-game sweep? We'll find out next on Fox Sports Ohio. Fans filing in to Great American Ballpark. This long-anticipated showdown weekend between the Reds and the Pirates wraps up with this Sunday afternoon game with the Reds gunning for the sweep. Next on Fox Sports Ohio. And a pleasant good afternoon and welcome to Reds Baseball. Along with Chris Welsh, Jim Kelch here at Great American Ballpark. Hard to believe, but here are the Reds going for their 4th consecutive series sweep. They've won 15 of their last 16, 20 of their last 23. And Chris, you just don't do that without help from everybody on this team. Dusty talks about everybody contributing. And let's put the spotlight last night on a couple of the veterans, Miguel Cairo and Scott Rowland.
Hey, how about the old saying, old guys rule? Well, Miguel Cairo, he buys into that. How about that sliding defensive play that he makes right there? He takes a page out of the defensive book of Brandon Phillips on that. And the Reds have played just airtight defense, and they've come up with huge hits when they've had to. Again, the old guys rule last night. Scott Rowland in the first inning, a base hit to right field, scores a couple of runs and put the Reds up by 2. And then later in the ball game, Rowland hits a triple off the right center field wall. A triple. He goes in head first into third base. I'll tell you what, he feels like he's a young player. This whole ball club is playing like they're young, but an experienced group of winners. They're having a whole bunch of fun right now.
Well, let's then take a look at the pitching matchup for the wrap-up of this series, and let's start with the veteran A.J. Burnett, who has found himself again this year as a Pirate.
Well, I would say so, because it was if he wins this ball game today, he'll have the second most wins in his career behind the 18 he won a couple of years ago when he was with the Blue Jays. But he's coming off a great outing, a one-hitter. In fact, he was 4 outs away from a no-no against the Chicago Cubs. This guy is a guy who's trying to salvage this 3-game series against the Reds. On the other hand, you've got Homer Bailey, who's throwing the ball extremely well, except for his last time out. 9-6 overall, good earned run average. He has not allowed a whole bunch of home runs, but he has been, in his career, the Pirates' killer. He got his first loss ever against the Pirates earlier this year. He is 1-6, 1 down, 1 loss. And Homer Bailey, if he's on top of his game, this really proves to be some kind of a sensational right-handed pitching matchup today.
Well, the lead right now is 5.5 games. They came into this series, the Reds and the Pirates, separated by 3.5. When they leave town, could it be 6.5? That's what the Reds are looking for. They've gotten huge help from the back end. Jonathan Broxton and Aroldis Chapman.
Cincinnati Reds. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Pirate fans here, of course, a ton of Reds fans here at Great American Ballpark for this Sunday afternoon game. A little bit cloudy here today. Tonight's weather report brought to you by Thompson Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drain Cleaning. Here's Scott Dimick.
Hello, everyone. I'm meteorologist Scott Dimick. If you're heading out to Great American Ballpark for the big game this afternoon, it's going to be cloudy, it is going to be breezy, and we'll have a significant chance for rain as we float up into the low and mid-80s. Go Reds and enjoy the game.
All right, Scott, thank you very much. All right, Chris Welsh, how about the new addition, Jonathan Broxton, really fortifying the back end of this bullpen?
Well, the whole idea of a back end of a bullpen is to try to shorten the game, and the Reds have done that very effectively with the acquisition of Jonathan Broxton. You know how good Chapman has been. He's been just outstanding. But when you bring Broxton in, you bring a guy who with closer's experience, closer stuff, he's still throwing 95 and 96. Curveball and slider as well. So Broxton really gives you an extra measure of insurance in the event that Chapman can't go on a particular night. You have Broxton, and it was exactly those two guys back-to-back last night. After Sean Marshall throws a perfect seventh, you bring in Broxton and then Chapman. The people are on their feet. They're excited. 101-mile-an-hour fastball. See you later. And this double closer situation that the Reds have right now, I'm not sure how much better it can get than this.
Well, the Reds are going for the sweep. Jim Day has brought his broom. That's the Nimbus 2012 that's going to be on display later tonight. We got to see it make its appearance on this Sunday afternoon. Ballpark, the wrap-up of this three-game series as we take a look at the Pirates lineup presented by Clint Hurdle here today. Starling Marte, Josh Harrison, Andrew McCutchen, Garrett Jones, Neil Walker, and Gabby Sanchez in there as a starter for the first time. Rod Barajas, Clint Varmus, and A.J. Burnett against this right-hander Homer Bailey.
Well, you hope that Homer Bailey can continue his winning ways against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Overall, 6-1 against the Pirates in his career. And there's something about facing a team that you've known and who you've had success against. And look at what James McDonald did last night. He was pitching horribly until he came into the game against the Reds last night and pitched a pretty good ball game.
86 degrees game time temperature here at the ballpark. Bruce is going to get to the spot here and make the catch, and a good start to this Sunday afternoon affair. How about the Reds defensively behind Homer Bailey? Brought to you by your Ford dealers, Ludwig, Stubbs, and Bruce. As per usual across the outfield, Frazier, Cozart, Valdez, and Cairo on the infield. Hannigan catches Bailey, and this is significant, Chris, in that it's the first time since the first start of the year for Bailey that he's had anyone behind the plate with him other than Devin Mesoraco.
Well, he and Devin Mesoraco have really forged a great relationship, pitcher-catcher kind of thing that it's kind of tough to describe. But believe me, with Ryan Hannigan back behind the plate, he's not going to take a step backwards at all. Hannigan knows the Pirates. He knows Bailey, good receiver, and I expect that not to be one blip of a problem at all.
Stubbs goes back on this ball by Harrison. Casually reaches up and makes the catch. So 2 fly balls, 2 outs here in the top of the first.
You know, we have the wind blowing here at Great American Ballpark today the same way it was last night. Maybe not quite as strong as it was yesterday, but we saw a lot of balls that were hit in the left field that looked like they were going to be warning track fly balls, end up in the seats. So as long as that wind is blowing like that as you see it, it's going to be a factor in anything that goes in the air.
Well, with 2 quick outs, nobody on. Here is Andrew McCutchen. 1 hit, a single to center in 7 at-bats in this series. He comes into the game with that .369 average. Tops in the National League. #1 in the National League. McCutchen against the Reds so far this year, hitting just .212 with a home run and 3 RBIs. So they've been able to keep him under wraps so far this year.
And you really wonder what the reason is for this, because we showed a graphic last night where Andrew McCutchen is really killing every other National League Central team except the Reds. Now, the Reds have a very strong pitching staff, no doubt. Well, I mean, he has become really a non-factor in these games.
Let's not speak too soon now.
Well, I mean, he has so far. I only can speak what has already happened. It could be a factor of, you know, McCutchen trying too hard, or the Reds just simply pitching him very well. Here's what we were talking about last night, updated. But you see, I mean, against the Brewers, 500, the Astros and Cubs over 400, mid 300s against the Cardinals. And then look at the drop off against the Reds. I mean, when you throttle like that the player with the best batting average in all the major leagues, I mean, you're really hamstringing their team. Even though the Pirates have had a good run of it in Cincinnati against the Reds, they've come up empty so far in this 3-game series. And don't get me wrong, I mean, he's a great player. And obviously, if you're going to pick one player off the Pirates team to say, I want to start a new ball club with, it's Andrew McCutchen.
Yeah, he's there, Joey Votto.
Yeah, I mean, he plays the game right. He plays hard. He's not a hot dog. He just does everything that you want a ball player to do. But the Reds have been able to keep him shut down.
Homer has him at 2-2. Bailey, like his counterpart today, A.J. Burnett, making his 3rd start against today's opponent. He's won 1, lost 1 against the Pirates this year. They matched up against one another here at Great American Ballpark on the 5th of June in an 8-4 Pirates win. Bailey in that game allowed 6 runs in 3 innings, and it's his only loss, as you talked about earlier, his only career loss against Pittsburgh. McCutchen trying to become the first Pirate to win a National League batting championship since Freddie Sanchez did it back in 2006 when he hit .344. Interesting that he's had a very good road trip, .367, but has not driven in a run. They close out a 9-game trip.
Got plenty of that one.
He sure did. For a small of stature guy, he really generates some power, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's about 5'10". And sometimes when a player who is under 6 feet and is listed at 5'10" or 5'9" is oftentimes an inch or two shorter. But this guy's a powerhouse. So quick, so strong. What an athlete.
10th pitch of the at-bat. McCutchen rung up.
Woo! On the black.
Sports Ohio is brought to you by the 2012 Ford F-150 Motor Trend Truck of the Year, by Cincinnati USA. Let us be your travel guide to Cincinnati. Visit CincinnatiUSA.com. And by Skyline Chili. Game time is Skyline time. Stop by your favorite Skyline Chili today. Reds lineup presented by skipper Dusty Baker, Cozart, Stubbs, and Bruce. Ludwig, Frazier, and Cairo at first base. Valdez at second. Hannigan catches. Bailey pitches. Cairo at first base for Frazier. Frazier at third base for Rowland. And Valdez at second base for Phillips. All will face this man, A.J. Burnett.
Now, A.J. Burnett is a sinker ball pitcher. He's having a really big year. I mean, he's his biggest year for Burnett since he won 18 ball games for the Toronto Blue Jays back in 2008. He's been with Florida, the Blue Jays, the Yankees, traded over here from the Yankees, and he has just rejuvenated his entire career, and really, he has really helped this ball club probably more than anybody else. I would say that Andrew McCutchen and A.J. Burnett are the two biggest stories in Pittsburgh this summer.
And yet, remember, at the beginning of spring training, he was attempting bunt in practice, had a ball bounce up and hit him in the jaw area, and he was out for the beginning of the season. Hit him in the face. He had surgery on his right orbital bone, and boy, he had to know that he and the Pirates were thinking, oh boy, bad news right from the get-go.
Well, these are the earned run averages you see for A.J. Burnett. You know, we don't show you the worst ones. Those are his best ones, and they're quite a ways ago. But last year when he was with the New York Yankees, his earned run average was over 5, as it was the year before in 2010, over 5. So they couldn't get him out of New York quickly enough. I'll tell you what you're looking at with A.J. Burnett. He's 35 years old now. You may be looking into the future and looking at Homer Bailey. Same type of pitcher, right-hander, low to mid-90s, got a good breaking ball, nice little action on his fastball, kind of long as far as his delivery to the plate with runners on base. Now, Bailey's gotten a lot better. Burnett is still a guy that you can really run on. If you get runners on base that can have some speed, you can really take advantage of that part of his deficiency, which is holding runners close.
Burnett has a no-hitter in his career. It came as a member of the Florida Marlins back in 2001, and he darn near had another one his last time out against the Cubs on the 31st of July when he allowed an 8th inning 2-out single to Adrian Cardenas is the only hit the Cubs were able to get in that game.
Burnett's got that nice, easy motion. He doesn't look like any particular pitch that he's really trying to go to the well or rear back and throw it by you. He just realizes that it takes a full body. You got to get your legs and your back into it to be able to throw as many years as he has pitched. You know, we saw him go into his glove. I mean, he keeps it very simple. Fastball, curveball, changeup. Not a lot of cutters, not sliders, and all these different things have fallen in love with. He's about as simple as they come. But we saw him grip his ball in his glove. He throws that curveball with a spike index finger where he kind of puts it up and puts the nail of his finger in the seam of the baseball. Hitters can't see that, but that will help him get his breaking ball over.
Take a look at Pittsburgh defensively, brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Marte, McCutchen, and Jones, who's been playing some first base. He's in right field today. Harrison and Varmus, Walker and Gabby Sanchez, Rod Barajas, who caught here on Friday, back behind the plate on Sunday afternoon. Overcast skies here. There is a bit of a chance of precipitation today, but so far so good.
I'm looking to see Stubbs go almost first pitch. If not first or second. Burnett this year, well, that's one area we've already talked about a little bit, but he's been terrible in his career in holding runners on. He has given up 23 stolen bases. They have yet to throw out a runner trying to steal on A.J. Burnett this year. Has not picked off anybody, so he's obviously concentrating on the hitter. Good lead by Stubbs.
Going on that pitch, ball pops out of the hand of Barajas as he got ready to throw, but Stubbs had a great jump.
Well, they had a big jump, and it was kind of a modified pitch out. A pitch that was way outside on a fastball, and you know that's the kind that you hope to be able to catch and throw on if you're Rod Barajas. But as we said last night, the Pirates have only thrown out 9 base runners all year long. All year long, they've thrown out 9.
Stubbs is 9th in the league now in steals with 24. D. Gordon on the DL for a while now for the Dodgers is at the top with 30. That should give the Reds the lead as Bruce comes through with an RBI extra base hit. Stubbs will score. Jay in the second standing. 1-0 Reds. Jay Bruce comes up with a big first inning hit.
Well, the confidence that this team has right now is just so incredible. I mean, they swagger to the plate. They just feel like they're going to get the job done. That ball right down Broadway, Bruce doesn't foul it off. He knocks it into the right field corner for a double. And Jay Bruce is safe at second. He is safe and secure.
New York life. Here's Ryan Ludwig. You talk about a hot hitting guy. You can break down the numbers every which way from Sunday, and every way you break it down, this guy's numbers have been incredible really since early July.
Yeah, you know, once he began to get his confidence, once he realized he was going to play on an everyday basis and be a big part of this ball club, he just seems to have been able to kind of get into the rhythm.
Bruce leads away at second. His 27th double has given the Reds the early lead, and now Ludwig, the former Pirate, going to drop one out into right. Right fielder gets that ball back in. Garrett Jones. Jay had to wait to make sure that he scampered over to third. Ludwig was still another base hit. He's now hitting 11 of his last 13. First and third with a run in. One man out. Stubbs, by the way, scores the run. Reds are 40-3. 40-3 when he scores.
Hard to ignore that.
It really is.
I mean, you talk about coincidence and all that, but that is a stat that is so overwhelming. It's got to be something to it, right?
Yeah, it can't be a coincidence at 40-3. So now it's Frazier. Out at 272, 13 long ones, 42 runs batted in. Picked up a couple of RBIs in last night's game, one on an infield hit, and then it turned out to be the game winner in the 8th, and that chopper off the plate to the mound, fielded by Jared Hughes, that was able to get Rolen home from third. A.J. Burnett, with his 13 wins, is one behind the co-leaders in the league in victories. The Reds' Johnny Cueto, the Yankees' knuckleballer R.A. Dickey each have 14. Lance Lynn of the Cardinals, Gio Gonzalez of the Nationals, and Burnett each have 13. Post All-Star break for Burnett, 3-1 with a 2.03, but if you even go further than that, his last 3 games, 3-0 with a 1.13. He has clearly been top of the line for them. First, Ludwig, the Pirates throw over there and will tag Ludwig out. One, 3-4 on the caught stealing. That'll be the first time this year that a caught stealing will go down under the name of A.J. Burnett.
And it wasn't all that easy.
Bruce stays at third.
I still like that play. Now what it does do is take away the possibility of a sacrifice fly. I mean, but when you're 2 games up in the series, when you're up in the standings, you have this team chasing you, and they're beginning to circle the drain just a little bit over the last few games. Why not just push them? Be aggressive as you possibly can. Make them make the plays. Just keep bringing it at them every chance you can possibly do it.
Frazier called out on strikes. Reds settle for 1 in the first against A.J. Burnett. Elk and Elk, serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Take a look at these series numbers now for the Reds. Since the All-Star break, this team is 19-3. The worst they've done is that split against Arizona. And it was the final game, really, Chris, of that Arizona series that really got this team rolling when they came back from that 6-0 deficit.
Well, Dusty Baker has never had a team in his 19 years as a major league manager that has been this hot over this long a period of time. I mean, just think what they've done against teams that have winning records. They are 17-4 in their last 21 against teams with winning records. So they're beating the teams they should beat and the ones that also should play them tough.
Garrett Jones starts things off here in the top of the second with that line drive single. That really puts to rest what you mentioned, 17-4 in their last 21 against teams with winning records. For the people who say, well, they're not beating anybody.
Well, that's the thing that separates this team really from the 2010 team. The 2010 team, you can say that about them and be absolutely correct. They beat the teams that they should have beaten, and they played under 500 against the good teams. This year, completely different story.
Tying run on for the Pirates here in the second. Neil Walker last night 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. For 4 in the series. And now that ball down the right field line is a 2-run shot for Neil Walker, his 12th of the year, and the Pirates have taken a 2-1 lead.
Clint Hurdle was quoted in the paper this morning in Pittsburgh and a number of other places by saying, you know what, they may have taken 2 out of 3 from us, but we're not going away. We're going to keep showing up. We're going to keep playing hard. That's a mark of his baseball team. And Walker just catches one of those breaking balls out in front of the plate and pops it right on out of here.
Dozen home run now ties the career best for Neil Walker. Pirates, who had not led yet in this series, now lead for the first time. Gabby Sanchez, the former Marlin, really fallen on hard times this year. Now a Pirate. He's retired on that fly ball to right. They pinch hit in each of the first 2 games of the series, getting the start at first base here today.
Boy, he's jamming himself an awful lot, Sanchez is. But Homer's got a little run on that fastball, and he can get it right in on that right-handed hitter's hands. Look at that ball. Starts inside and runs a little bit, just could not get the head on it.
He was an all-star 2 years ago, Gabby Sanchez. Part of the unloading process again that's going on down in Miami this year. Years ago, of course, with the Florida Marlins, and this year they went in with such high hopes for 2012. And Marlins team now is 10 under, 15.5 back. People are flying out of there. Ball on a strike to Rod Barajas, hitting .201. 8 home runs, 20 runs batted in. One for his last 13. Mark your calendars for Saturday, August the 18th, and cheer on your Reds when they take on the Chicago Cubs beginning at 7:10. Arrive early, be one of the first 20,000 fans through the gates. You receive a Barry Larkin Reds cap presented by Fox Sports Ohio. For tickets to see the Reds take on the Cubs Saturday, August the 18th at GABP, call 513-381-REDS. Visit select Kroger locations or go to Reds.com. Big day coming up. Barry Larkin Cap Day, August the 18th. Single by Jones, 2-run homer by Walker. Subsequent flyouts to right by Gabby Sanchez and Rod Barajas. Now Clint Barmas. 207 overall for Barmas, and even worse than that, 194 against right-handers. Former Rocky, former Astro. Barmas now in his first year with Pittsburgh. Midwest guy from Vincennes, Indiana. Played at Indiana State. Barmas started here on Saturday, went 0 for 2. Pardon me, on Friday night, first game of the series, went 0 for 2. Bruce will backhand that ball, and leery of the arm of the Reds right fielder. Barmas stays put as he rounds first. That's big time respect right there.
Well, the other thing it does is that it keeps in mind who you have coming up behind you. And if you're batting in the 8th spot, the last thing you want to do is make the third out on the base paths, trying to stretch a single into a double, and thereby having A.J. Burnett lead off the next inning. So better to turn the lineup over, have him come up this inning even with 2 outs, and then you start the next inning with the top guy.
A.J. Burnett, as you can see, 3 hits on the year. 1 run batted in. Reds get a run in the first. RBI double by Bruce. Pirates 2 here in the top of the second. 2-run homer by Neil Walker. Reds heading to Milwaukee after the game, and boy, wouldn't they love to be carrying a 6.5 game lead in the division with them. Reds will play the Brewers for 3, the Cubs for 4 on this upcoming road trip. Strikeout number 2 for Homer Bailey puts an end to the top of the second. We look forward to presenting later our Miller Time moment of the game, presented by Miller Lite. Hey, Reds fans, if a Reds home run hits the Toyota sign during today's game, Mario Isgrove from Hamilton, Ohio, will win this beautiful new Tundra on display here at the ballpark. Register for your chance to win at an upcoming game by seeing your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. How about our Farmers Insurance report card on the 35-year-old right-hander of the Pirates, A.J. Burnett.
Well, A.J. Burnett has been around a long time. As we had mentioned, he's a guy that has been with the Yankees, the Toronto Blue Jays, the Florida Marlins, and a guy that is 4-3 in his lifetime against the Reds with an earned run average of about 4.9. But he is a real strike thrower. And of all the right-handed pitchers that have been out there, he is among the best as far as being around the strike zone. Career average of 3.7, but this year 2.7 per 9 innings, and that has really helped him propel himself to a 10-game over 500 record, 13 wins, 3 losses.
He gets Cairo to start the Reds second, then Valdez, then Hannigan. 6, 7, 8. Dusty's scheme of things here on this 5th day of August. Armas makes the play, and Cairo is retired. We highlighted Miguel Cairo on the pregame with the defensive gem he turned in, going to his left yesterday late in that game. It takes everyone, as Dusty's constantly commenting, takes everybody to win the division title, and certainly the way they've been playing, they've used everybody.
You know, it really does. I mean, you hate to think that it was the injury to Joey Votto that shook this ball club and this offense up, but the numbers don't lie. I mean, it seemed like everybody else began to contribute more when they lost Votto. And you wonder if maybe with Votto in the lineup, they thought, well, the big guy's going to carry us. All we've got to do is, you know, kind of let him take over. But with him not there, I think everyone wanted to grind it out a little bit more, and no one ever thought that the Reds would kind of put on a run that they have without their best player in the lineup.
And, you know, if Joey's asked about that, and he has been, what his thoughts are on the way the team has, quote, picked it up since he's been out, he'll downplay that by saying, I don't think that's happened at all. I think they've simply played to their potential. However you want to look at it, they're 16-3 since Votto's been out, and 19-3 since the All-Star break.
Well, A.J. Burnett's strikeout pitch is that curveball. He'll throw it from a couple different arm angles. He'll change speeds on it a little bit. But for the most part, when he gets his strikeouts against right-handers, that's a pitch that looks like a fastball. It's a real tight curveball. Not one of those that has a big hump in it on the way to home plate.
Off the pitcher's glove, and Walker is going to make the play, and Hannigan is gone, and the Reds go in order in the bottom of number 2. It's the 17th when they take on the Cubs here at Great American Ballpark. Then stick around after the game. Enjoy a spectacular post-game fireworks show presented by Corson Fire and Security. For tickets to see the Reds and the Cubs, call 513-381-REDS. Visit select Kroger locations or reds.com today. Big fireworks show on Friday, August the 17th. Last week, of course, 2 days ago, it was Marty Brennaman's musical soundtracks. Heard tell it may be yours this coming Friday the 17th. What would we hear then?
Well, it would have to be a surprise, Jim. If it ever comes to that, which I doubt it will, you'll be the first to know.
Will I?
Yeah.
Thank you. So it would be a surprise if they do it, or it would be a surprise in what music we would hear?
It would be
both?
a surprise, the music that you would hear would be some songs from artists that I know that you may never have heard of.
Right.
Marty, on the other hand, he's got 3 iPods, so he's got all different genres of music that he listens to all the time.
We did indeed find that out when we mentioned down in Houston that I said I didn't know that he had an iPod. No, the answer came back. Not 1, not 2, but 3. There he is.
Picked a good day not to wear his wig.
Looking sharp with no hair. Cozart. Marte 0 for 2 in this series. Now 1 for his last 18. Interesting that the Pirates, in making their all-star break moves, certainly acquired some players. Gabby Sanchez from Miami, Chad Qualls from the Yankees, Wandy Rodriguez, the biggest name they picked up from Houston. But they also found a couple of fellows that no one really had heard of in Travis Snyder, who's not in the lineup today, a former Toronto Blue Jays player, and Starling Marte, who they signed back in 2007, a fellow that came up through the Pirates organization that was highly thought of. That's 23. So in order to get stronger, they went younger a little bit with the 23-year-old and the 24-year-old.
Keep in mind that as you watch the Pirates, this is a ball club that's going to be around a while. They've built themselves a nice foundation over the years where they were just horrible win-loss wise. So they would draft very high in the amateur draft, and they made some very good draft picks. So they've got young players that are good. They're going to have them under control for quite a while, and you're going to see these guys, you know, for the next few years. So it's not like a Pirate team that was built to win once and then go away. Of course, the Reds can say the same thing. I mean, with the exception of, you know, Cairo and Roland and Bronson Arroyo, this is a very young ball club overall.
Harrison flied to center his first time.
Well, he had a good at bat against Aroldis Chapman last night. Cincinnati native at the Princeton High School. Very athletic player. Made a couple of nice defensive plays. Just like him as a ball player. But, man, he gave Aroldis Chapman everything he could handle before he finally got a base hit, a hard shot on the ground between third and short.
And another hard hit ball, and a base hit in the center for Harrison. Is his third hit in 5 at-bats in this series. He's getting more and more playing time for this.
Well, he should. I mean, the way Clint Hurdle runs it, if you produce, you're in the lineup. He's not one of these guys that's going to hang with a player over and over again just because he's got faith in him. I think he'll go with the hot hand whenever he can. But Harrison's a short, stocky guy, very strong. Those are the guys that when you pitch them up in the strike zone, that's a dangerous place to be.
The Pirates went down in order in the first against the Reds right-hander, scored twice in the second. Now a runner on here in inning number 3, and it's McCutchen. He took a called third strike his first trip up against Bailey.
You know, the difference for me with Andrew McCutchen this year is that he's not getting himself out early in the count on pitchers' pitches. He's got much better strike zone management this year. Laying off those little teaser pitches. I mean, a couple of years ago, he was hacking at those. He was so anxious to get a base hit, he was leaving the on-deck circle swinging the bat. But that has been the biggest change. You know, one thing he's done this year, and it's absolutely incredible when you look at the number itself. There is a stat out there called batting average of balls in play. When you put the ball in play, what's your batting average? It's kind of a stat head stat, but Andrew McCutchen is completely off the chart. I mean, he is the highest batting average in nearly 90 years when he puts the ball in play.
Hammers this ball to the left field corner, and it just does go foul.
Second foul ball home run of the day.
But support what you're talking about, Chris. He's hitting .369 at the start of the day. Last year, .259, and his first 2 years, .286. So this is a huge jump for him.
It is, but and then the stat head people will tell you, well, there's no way he's going to be able to sustain that batting average of over 400 of batting average balls in play. The major league average is somewhere around 290 or so. So eventually they figure that he'll drift back to the mean. Hasn't yet.
He walks here. First issued by Homer. First and second with one out.
Well, you know, you want to pitch McCutchen carefully, but when you're a right-handed pitcher and you pitch him too carefully and walk him, then you've got Garrett Jones, who's already had a solid base hit, Neil Walker, switch hitter coming up, who's already parked the ball out of the ballpark for a 2-run homer. So you create a little bit of more problem sometimes when you pitch around McCutchen than you do when you go right after him, especially with the way the Reds have held him down.
Well, Homer trying to get back to the way he was in the month of July, minus that last start against San Diego when he was touched up for 6 runs in 3 2/3. It really pitched very, very well in July. 4 wins, no losses. ERA of 2.61, and that includes that bad start his last time out. Making his 3rd attempt at his 10th win, which would be a career best.
Boy, good looking pitch right there. There was a time that Homer Bailey couldn't throw a changeup for a strike, and here he throws it not only for a strike but right on the outside corner. Once you establish yourself out on that outside corner with a pitch that's kind of going away from a left-handed hitter, and you throw a changeup, then that hitter is now forced to swing at the next one you throw out there because you've defined the outer part of the strike zone. So he goes changeup, fastball, finds himself ahead 1-2, and would love to see a ground ball right here to get him out of the inning.
Jones has driven in 7 runs on this road trip for them. Trip that started in Houston, went to Chicago, and now wrapping up here. They have a nice homestand coming up, these Pirates. They'll have Arizona in for 4, San Diego for 3, and the Dodgers for 4. So an 11-game homestand that begins tomorrow. Cairo is settled for the out at first for the second out of the inning. That could be really, when you talk about the Pirates, could be a very defining homestand with the Diamondbacks, a 500 club, and playing much better now, and the Dodgers on the other side of that with San Diego in the middle. The Dodgers, of course, are battling with San Francisco for the top spot in the West. They come in on just a half game out right now. So while the Reds go to Milwaukee and Chicago, the Pirates go home to Arizona, San Diego, and LA. Neil Walker, 2-run homer his first time. The next home run that Walker hits will be a career best for him in terms of one season's worth of production, both in 2010 and last year. And now this year, a dozen for the Pittsburgh native. Walker 4 hits lifetime against Bailey, 2 of them home runs. Now Bailey and the Reds a strike away. Getting out of this second and third jam here in the top of the third. Boy, if it's not a sellout today, it's awfully close. Big crowd here on this Sunday afternoon. Back-to-back sellouts Friday and Saturday night. Big throng here today. Got him. Nicely done by Bailey. Put a 0 on the board in the top of the third.
It was the Marty Party on Friday night. $50,000 for the Reds Community Fund. And today, you've seen Charlie Sheen, a Cincinnati Reds fan, here all weekend. He wanted to do something for the kids, and he is matching the $50,000 that was raised through the fans and the Reds corporate sponsors, and $100,000. Now, I'm up here in the suite with Charlie, and he reluctantly, I want to say this, doing the interview because didn't want to bring a whole lot of light to it because you're not doing it for the publicity, you're doing it for the kids. So I appreciate you talking to us, but what prompted you to do it?
I just felt like it was such a good cause that, and just 50 didn't seem like enough. 100 is a much better number, and I thought I should match it and just give something back to the city that's given me so much.
Now, I talked to you yesterday, and I enjoyed the conversation because you said, and I felt like you were genuine. You said, "Man, I love this town." Well, why do you like it so much?
I do, because it's a real town. It's a real city. There's a real sense of community here. Not like LA, everybody's spread out and doing their own deal. And Here, it's like you can walk around, and the food is amazing. The women are beautiful. Everybody's friendly like yourself. The team's doing great. It's just, I could hang out here for a while.
Well, we would love you.
I should run for mayor, actually.
You know what? I heard you put out a tweet last night that you were going to run for mayor. Now, is there any truth to this?
Let's officially announce it right now.
We're breaking news right here. You're going to run for Cincinnati mayor.
Yes, I am. Yeah, well, I got 40,000 votes right now, right?
You got much more than that.
I do, yeah. Yeah, I think it'd be, yeah, but it's not like I need to clean up this city. I just kind of make it more fun.
Well, you heard it here first. We're breaking news here. One more question. You're down on the field throwing with the guys. I know you got a great relationship with a lot of the Reds players, but the wild thing, Ricky Vaughn, out on the field throwing with the Reds, that has to never get old for you.
Never. No, it's so much fun. This is what I dreamt of doing as a kid, and I got to do it in movies, and so. But at 46, I don't think I'd still be playing.
Yeah.
So I got the best of both worlds. No, it's a fantasy to be down here with these guys, and just such respect for what they do every day. It's the hardest game to play well every day.
Yeah, it really is. Well, Charlie, it's been fantastic meeting you and your father. Your father's one of my idols as well.
One of mine too.
I know he is. So thank you from everyone from the Cincinnati Reds community. $50,000, guys. So $100,000 total raised for the Reds Community Fund this weekend. What a weekend it's been.
Thank you, Jim Day. It's a great piece there as Charlie Sheen donates an extra $50,000. Chris, you had a chance to meet him down in the field in San Diego, didn't you?
I did. Well, what a tremendous act by Charlie Sheen to do that. You know, but going back to what Marty had said to Chris Spire, kind of off the cuff.
Isn't that something?
Never thought that it would catch the kind of traction that it had, where, you know, if this ball club wins 10 in a row, I'll shave my head. Meaning, I don't think you can win 10 in a row.
It's kind of a throw-off line.
Yeah, it was a throwaway line that eventually comes back and turns into a $100,000 contribution to the Reds Community Fund. I mean, just incredible. It has been some incredible run the Reds have been on, and capped by that today. It's exciting. It's exciting. Reds Community Fund does such great work in the community. And now they've got the funds to continue that and even do more than ever.
Well, you saw the picture with Charlie and Charlie Sheen and Charlie Frank and Ryan Rizzo of the Reds. Now we know, of course, that Charlie Sheen will be running for mayor of Cincinnati the next time that comes up.
Wonder what the current mayor Mallory thinks about that.
We'll have to decide.
Check his Twitter account real quick and see what the comment is.
2-1 now to Drew Stubbs. Charlie's dad, Martin, is from, I guess, the Dayton area, and as part of his 70th birthday celebration, he came to Cincinnati this weekend, taking in the games here at Great American Ballpark. Stubbs sending Jones near the wall. Gone. Tie game.
They don't ask you how far, they ask you how many. And for Drew Stubbs, that is number 14, front row, right field. That's a chip shot blast, but the Reds will take it to tie this baby up.
12th given up by the right-hander A.J. Burnett this year.
It was worth the spilled beer.
Just got out of the reach of the outstretched glove of Garrett Jones. Drew Stubbs has had a good second half. Had a good July, keeps it going here in the early days of August.
You know, one of the things you get to see when you come to the ballpark, and I don't know if we have this on tape or not, but is the reaction of the opposing pitcher when he gives up a first row home run to right field like that on a chip shot that in just about every other ballpark is a warning track shot, maybe. I mean, Pittsburgh has a big wall out there in right field. At the very best, that ball goes off the wall. But, man, the look of disgust and the reaction of the pitcher sometimes is worth the price of admission here. And A.J. Burnett not very happy about giving up that home run to Drew Stubbs.
Well, Well, you give some up, but you certainly get some back also.
We might have that. Here it is. After the home run. Yeah, a little bit of a flick of his right hand saying, yeah. Take a good look at that right field wall. It's getting closer and closer.
Bruce, a strikeout victim. Inning comes to an end, but Stubbs 14th ties things here at GABP after 3.
Neil Walker accounts for the 2 runs the Pirates have had. And watch his hanging breaking ball right there that he jumps on and lines into right field for a home run. So the next time he comes up, he's got 2 runners on. Homer Bailey knows he's just given up a home run to him on a curveball. So our Mazda pitch by pitch will show you a little different approach by Homer Bailey. Fastball away, wants another fastball in there, and he gets it. And then finally he gets another fastball, and Walker swings right through it. So he gets the fastballs, 4 of them in that at bat, finally gets a strikeout, and no way Homer Bailey's going to make the same mistake twice of hanging a breaking ball to a switch hitting and a very good one in Neil Walker.
Nice adjustment indeed right there by Homer Bailey to get Walker. So now he works here in inning number 4. New game, 2-2. Pirates have still out hit the Reds 4-3. Gabby Sanchez flied out his first time. Sanchez hit just 202 down with the Marlins this year. In fact, he had been sent down, optioned down to their AAA team in New Orleans, where he played 34 games. And a tough go-round in 2012 for this former All-Star. Pirates made a trade a year ago for a first baseman in hopes of helping them secure a +500 record, a playoff spot. Remember, Derek Lee was acquired by Pittsburgh, one of the 2 big guns they went out to get. The other, of course, is now a Red and Ryan Ludwig. That did not work out for them a year ago. Now they go out and get Gabby Sanchez from Miami this year. Homer's walked 1, fanned 3. Making his 22nd start. This will, for Bailey, equal his career high when he started 22 times last year. Barajas on deck. And he has surpassed now his innings pitch total from a year ago, which was also a career high. Last last year 132 innings pitched. He came into this game with 131. So here we are, early August, with Homer Bailey equaling his career start number and surpassing his career high innings pitched number.
Looks like it could be one of those stressful type pitching days for Homer Bailey where, you know, you're trying to get these 1, 2, 3 innings, and he had one in the first, but that was the last time. Gave up a couple in the second, had 3 base runners overall, had 2 base runners last inning. Here he has the first runner on in this inning. So these are the kind of days that can really tire you out mentally, even if your pitch count doesn't go up. Really love to do is see Barajas hit the ball on the ground. Does not run well at all, even for a catcher.
He's hit into 4 double plays this year. Reds and Fox Sports Ohio like to send out a very happy birthday wish today. Longtime Reds fan Emmett Holbrook. Emmett Holbrook from Crittenden, Kentucky, turning 90 years old today. Very special happy birthday to you, Emmett. Cairo and Valdez chasing, and Miguel Cairo makes a nice play.
That is really a nice play. You know, from up here where we sit at the third level, we get a great view of the field and how the players converge on a ball like that. It did not look like he was going to be able to get that ball. I mean, you look up right into the sun. A little bit over the shoulder basket catch, no problem. Boy, he made a couple of great plays at second base this last week. One last night. Turned a terrific double play with Cozart on Thursday.
Clint Barmes now with 1 on and 1 out. Barmes has hit into 6 double plays for the Pirates this year. Reds have turned 4 in the series, 3 of them on Friday night.
Well, Miguel Cairo just had a pretty good glove work there on a pop-up. How about this diving, sliding catch to get Pedro Alvarez? Alvarez at the very end of this play slams his helmet down. There was a runner at second base right there, would have kept the inning alive, and Cairo gets him into the dugout with that dandy.
Stubbs moving. He can't get to that ball. Runner trying to go to third. And the throw is cut off. Back to first over there to Frazier, but Barmes back in time. Daring base running there by Gabby Sanchez. Gets him over to third base.
Well, he read it early on, and Sanchez is no speedster. That's an understatement maybe of the year. But he's going to chug right around there knowing it's going to fall right in, and then probably Drew Stubbs is not going to come in there and throw it to third.
So Sanchez is over at third. Barmes now at first. 2 hits in the inning, 6 in the game for Pittsburgh. And A.J. Burnett has the opportunity to move Barmes along and give Starling Marte a big RBI chance at the top of the Pirate order.
He's got 3 sacrifices, and I would imagine that that's what they're going to have him do up here. Last thing Clint Hurdle wants to see is his pitcher ground into a double play ball.
Both teams in those colored tops today. Reds in red, Pirates in their black. Hannigan to Valdez for the sacrifice. 2-4 if you're scoring along. Moving down to second goes Barmes, and so this inning now rests on the shoulders of Starling Marte and Homer Bailey. 4th sack for Burnett.
Boy, it's good to see this ballpark filled, isn't it? Sellouts on Friday. Last night, a big crowd, 41,500 plus. That was also a sellout. I don't know if this is an official sellout or not, but it looks pretty darn close to it.
It is great to see the way this team has performed this year. The way they have been the hottest team in baseball since the All-Star break at 19-3.
Well, you just walk around, you see more people wearing Reds gear, you hear more people talking about it. I mean, normally this time of year, you know, you hear people talking about Bengals training camp. So it's a refreshing part of being in the pennant race in August.
And let's face it, with Bengals training camp going on right next door for the first time in how many years at Paul Brown Stadium, it really had the makings, had this team not been playing well, of an attention grabber away from the baseball club. But the way this team has played, all eyes on Great American Ballpark.
Good block by Hannigan. That's one of those breaking balls that you overthrow, you hit it, you throw it in the dirt, and when it hits the dirt with that kind of spin, it's going to go anywhere. Watch him try to just smother that ball. Starling Marte just stands right up on the plate, and he's just begging you to pitch him inside. And Homer Bailey just throwing it right there. I mean, look where he is, and look where that pitch is, and what part of the bat is he going to get in that baseball? And that's a strike. Gotta go away with the breaking ball here, huh?
That's what he does. Jay is chasing near the wall, off the wall. A run will score. A second run will score. Over to third goes Marte. Been one for his last 18. And the 23-year-old comes up with a huge triple here in the 4th, and the Pirates now have regained the lead at 4-2.
Well, it's not a true slider that Homer Bailey's throwing today. It looks like he's really falling in love with that cutter. And that's a ball that just kind of move away a little bit from a right-handed hitter, but he gets it up in the zone. When that thing's waist high, you can put the sweet part of the bat on it, and he's lucky that ball stayed in the ballpark. Well, that's a pitch that he just has to be kicking himself with right now. Homer Bailey thinking, I had this guy set up. I could have thrown him just about anything except the hanger and gotten out of the inning.
Marte's first triple giving the Pirates a 4-2 lead. Harrison a base hit his last time. Inning is over, but the Pirates get a couple. And they lead 4-2, middle of the fourth. Reds with you this season. You can subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Reds out of market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Reds.com to order. Get all the details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. And of course, Fox Sports Ohio has brought you the Reds for years. Now it's time for them to bring you to the Reds. For more information on how you and your group can get on Fox Sports Ohio Fan Express to Reds Country, you can call 513-765-7600 or visit Reds.com/FanExpress. Ludwig to get it started against A.J. Burnett. Bottom of the fourth. Reds led 1-0. Pirates led 2-1. Reds tied it on the Stubbs homer. 2-2. Pirates regain the advantage on the 2-run triple by Starling Marte. Ludwig, Frazier, Cairo here in the bottom of the fourth. A.J. Burnett, initially drafted by the Mets, traded for the first time to the Marlins back in 1998 for Al Leiter. Free agent with Toronto, signed that big 5-year deal with the Yankees back in 2008, really on the strength of that 2007 season, which he had. Actually, in the 2008 season, signed for 2009, that big deal. Won 18 games that year.
Just never really a New York kind of guy, though.
Didn't seem to be.
Well, I mean, his numbers would bear that out.
Yeah.
Earned run average up around 5 or over 5. He pitched to right around 500 with them. The Yankees have a whole lot higher expectations of a starting pitcher that they're paying millions of dollars to. And I don't know whether the press got on him and it got to him, but he was the whipping boy up there for his 3 years in New York.
Here's Frazier with 1 out. Todd struck out looking his first time. A.J. Burnett in his 14th year wearing a big league uniform.
And if you talk to the guys on the Pirates team, they'll tell you he is just a model citizen. He's helped a number of the younger pitchers adapt what they're doing. He's helped James McDonald big time. In fact, there are a lot of people in that clubhouse that think that A.J. Burnett is the reason James McDonald is having the kind of season he's having this year. That kind of an influence. So sometimes you get painted the wrong way by the press, and you find out something different about him when he actually is your teammate.
Cairo ground out his first time. The lead for the Reds, 5.5 games in the National League Central. They start the day at 66-41, 25 over, best record in the big leagues. Haven't lost a series since they dropped 2 out of 3 at Los Angeles against the Dodgers right before the All-Star break on that West Coast road trip. Split that series here with Arizona during the homestand after the All-Star break. Lost 1 of the 4 games in the San Diego series recently. 5 in a row on the heels of a 10-game winning streak. 15 of 16. 20 of 23. 22 of 25. No Reds team since before 1900 has reeled off 22 of 25, and that's what this unit has done. They've done it for the last 3 weeks without Joey Votto. 16-3 without their former MVP. Tipped off the glove of Burnett. Walker makes the play. Reds go in order for the second time here this afternoon. Creating great dishes together with the food service industry for over 30 years. By your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. For over 30 Toyota offers available now, visit buyatoyota.com, and that's including mobile. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. It's MLB on Fox season. Fox Sports is proud to support Boys and Girls Clubs of America, a place where youth can reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. To learn more, please visit greatfutures.org/Fox Sports. 2-run games, Pittsburgh here in the top of the 5th inning. They've out-hit the Reds 7-3. Andrew McCutchen, who took a called third strike and has walked in this game and is now 1 for 8 in this series, leads things off. Homer Bailey this afternoon making his 100th career start. 34 and 29, 4.65 career ERA, 100 start, of course, all in the Reds uniform. Former #1 pick.
It's amazing to think that Homer Bailey's had parts of 6 different years in the major leagues.
McCutchen drives this ball. Stubbs got it. Boy, he read that ball nicely.
Boy, he did. A couple of times during his pursuit, he took his eye off the baseball to check out where he was in relationship to the warning track and the wall, and picks it right back up. Boy, gets his foot down. This is a good swing by McCutchen. But Stubbs is right there to grab it.
You've got to be awfully good, awfully confident to be able to take your eye off that ball and then get back to it.
Yeah, he gets back to it, but that looked to me like a catch that was no panic at all.
No question. Garrett Jones scored in front of the Neil Walker home run back in the second. That at the time made it 2-1 Pittsburgh. This meeting today, the 12th this year between these two teams, with still 6 remaining. Pirates come back here for a 3-game series in September, and then the Reds, part of their last regular season road trip, go to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh for 3 and St. Louis for 3.
Clint Hurdle moved A.J. Burnett up in the rotation so that he would pitch today. He knew that this might be a very important game, whether he's trying to salvage a game out of the 3 games or whether he's trying to go for a sweep. But he did that in reason because he's the #1 pitcher they have, and also that the Pirates are 15 and 1 in Burnett's last 16 ball games. So maybe now more than ever, managers are attuned to those stats, the secondary stats, you know, the matchups and so on. But that was a no-brainer right there. The other thing to keep in mind, and I mean, this is just a trend, it doesn't predict the future, but the Pirates are 5-0 in their last 5 games in the 3rd game of a series. So here are 3rd game of a series. He has seen his team 5 times in a row win. He's gunning for #6 today. But if Jim Day is going to break out that Nimbus 2012, Reds are going to have to score a few runs, and Homer's going to have to hold them.
Take a spin around the ballpark on that baby after the game.
I know a few people could qualify to do that.
Like he's playing in a Kidditch match. Get back to one of the things that you were talking about, Chris. You and Tom last night were talking about the number of no decisions turned in by Mike Leake this year. It's one of the top in the league, and then you look at a guy like A.J. Burnett, who has 16 decisions in 19 starts. It's incredible.
It really is. Of course, last night Mike Leake, wild pitch cost him a decision last night. Pirates ended up going on a wild pitch on strike 3. They extended the inning. Runner went from home to first, batter runner. Then the runner went from second to third, and then a sacrifice fly scored him. So that tied the ball game up. I think it's 4-4, and that made Mike Leake another no decision pitcher. And Leake has been really well. He's been the pitcher on the staff where the Reds haven't scored a lot of runs for him. I think he's averaging about 3.5 per. Hiding behind the camera.
Walker gets his second hit of this game, and so Pittsburgh now has 9 hits. 4 1/3 against Homer Bailey.
Yeah, that's what I meant earlier about this being the one kind of a high stress game for Bailey. Every time you turn around, you've got runners on base. Mac Jenkins going to head out to the mound. Mac's getting over that limp a little bit. He had hip replacement surgery about, I don't know, 8 months to a year ago. You always find him doing some rehab and some exercises. Good guy, very knowledgeable, minor league pitching coordinator for a long time in the Reds organization.
And they credit him with being able to break down tape as well as anybody down there and find tendencies about hitters that they're going to face.
Now, you know what? If you can get somebody that can do that, he's worth his weight in gold. There are a lot of teams now that will carry more than one either hitting coach or more than one pitching coach.
Come for the Reds, stay for more fun. Visit Mighty Mike at Newport Aquarium, the biggest gator in the country. Make it a weekend getaway. Book your stay at CincinnatiUSA.com.
Jose Arredondo.
Ludwig, second out of the inning. Homer trying to battle to get through here in the 5th inning. Keep this as a 2-run game. Barajas 0 for 2 and 0 for 4 in the series. 1 for his last 15. His playing time has been cut into by the hot-hitting Michael McHenry. Homered in the game here last night. This will be the 90th pitch of the afternoon for Bailey. Hitting.
Yeah, there was a warning issued last night when Josh Harrison was hit early in the ballgame. That obviously not intentional. You wonder if that was even discussed when the managers exchanged lineup cards at the very beginning of the ball game today.
Now what we do know is this, that Dusty Baker is headed to the mound. Homer Bailey has thrown his last pitch on this Sunday afternoon. The Reds will make a pitching change. Arredondo has been throwing in the pen. Bailey, and this is 100th start finished. Our skyline call to the bullpen means Jose Arredondo. Before every game with Reds Live. That's presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing here on Fox Sports Ohio. Reds Live, of course, has everything you need to know to get ready for the upcoming Reds battle. It's all right here on your exclusive home for Reds baseball, Fox Sports Ohio. Homer Bailey, 90 pitches, 4 2/3, 9 hits, 4 runs thus far. All the runners on belong to him. Arredondo takes over.
Big pitch right there for Jose Arredondo. Being able to throw a first pitch strike oftentimes means the difference between stranding runners like you see right there and not. He's been very good, stranded 9 of 12.
Well, he's 2/3 of the way home here and getting Barmes, putting an end to this big threat by the Pirates in the 5th.
Boy, nice combination. Fastball to start, splitter the last pitch. Barmes looked all out of wax on that swing.
Lead away at every base for the Pirates. Arredondo trying to squash their opportunity. Open this one up. Bailey walked 1, struck out 3. Got him. Nicely done, Arredondo. Pirates leave him loaded. Who did Luis Quinones replace for his pinch hit go-ahead single in Game 6 of the 1990 NLCS against the Pirates? Think back now. Remember that series. Who did he pinch hit for? Luis Quinones. Pinch hit single, Game 6. Two Pirates. They've hit the Reds by 6. A.J. Burnett stays in the game. Homer Bailey, meanwhile, is finished for the afternoon. He goes 4 2/3, 4 runs, 9 hits, a walk, 3 strikeouts. Arredondo got the big strikeout at Barmes to end the top of the 5th. So the Pirates have now stranded 7. So they've scored 4 and left 7 men on. In other words, it could be a lot worse. Wilson Valdez leads it off. Hannigan and then the pitcher spot here in the bottom of 5. Driving McCutchen back, but he'll have room halfway on the track. Valdez 0 for 2, 1 out, inning 5.
No money out there for him.
No, Burnett has been very pitch efficient in this game. That was just his 50th pitch.
He usually is. I mean, he's a guy that, as I said early on, he keeps it simple. Doesn't throw a lot of varieties of pitches. He throws his fastball, his curveball, and his changeup. He has been able to throw his curveball for a strike, and that's a big equalizer.
You've always talked about pitchers, if you can get them under 16 or right around 16 an inning, that's pretty good, and he's under 15.
Yeah, that's pretty much the standard, you know, 16, and you start bouncing up towards 20, and you're automatically going to get yourself out of a ball game by probably right about the 5th or 6th inning.
Hannigan now against A.J. Burnett.
The other thing is that when you establish yourself as a strike thrower, the umpires seem to give you the benefit of the doubt. Now, they will tell you, no, we're calling balls and strikes independently of anything except the ball going into the strike zone. But, you know, they're human beings. They see a guy out there throwing strike after strike after strike, and if it's marginal, they're thinking, hey, the last one was a strike, this one might be too.
This Pirate team had a 2-game lead over the Reds after the first game of that series in San Diego right before the All-Star break. They had won. The Reds had lost the first game out in San Diego, and they were looking at a 2-game deficit at the time. They won the final 3 games of that series out there, went into the break 1 game back. Today with their largest lead of 5.5. So if you look back at that day, the 6th of July till now, there's been a 7.5 game turn in terms of where these two teams are. Reds were 2 out. Now they're 5.5 up.
That's what I was talking about. You know, the marginal pitch going to the pitcher instead of going to the hitter right there. Todd Tishner, he hasn't been around the major leagues really all that long. Became a full-time umpire this year, broke into the major leagues as a part-time umpire back in 2007.
When you say part-time, you mean he was not a full-time big league umpire. These guys worked in the minor leagues.
It's like you get called up from the minor leagues like players do.
Not like he had another job during the season, was also umpire.
Correct about that.
Don't want people to get the wrong impression.
He is the only active umpire born in Nebraska.
There's some lagniappe for you.
Yeah.
Heisey 4 out of 12 as a pinch hitter this year. Started the game here on Friday night in right field for Bruce and had that inside the park home run in the 2nd inning, 2nd of his career, both against the Pirates. Haven't had a base runner since Stubbs' home run in the 3rd tied things. 6 in a row by Burnett. Reds meanwhile will employ a new pitcher come the top of the 6th inning. Arredondo finished 1/3 of an inning. Alfredo Simon has been throwing. Reds go in order for the second straight time. Third time in 5 innings in this game. Still trail by a couple. St. Louis Cardinals here at Great American Ballpark. Make sure you arrive early, be one of the first 10,000 through the gate. You receive a Reds Stein courtesy of PNC Bank. For tickets to see the Reds and the Cardinals Saturday, August 25, call 513-381-REDS. Visit select Kroger locations or go to Reds.com. How about the AT&T trivia question answer? Who did Luis Quiñones replace for his pinch hit go-ahead single in Game 6 of the 90 NLCS versus Pittsburgh? You're screaming at the screen. Paul O'Neill, of course. It was Paul O'Neill. Now, some of the behind-the-scenes information on that, O'Neill was hitting .471 at that point in the series. That was Game 6. Zane Smith was on the mound. Quiñones, meanwhile, was hitting only .241 during the regular season that year, but had been 0 for 7 against Zane Smith. But what does he do? He comes up with the pinch hit single, and the rest, of course, is history. Thanks to Joel Luckham for our behind-the-scenes information. Now you know the rest of the story. Alfredo Simon, the new pitcher. Burnett disposed of on 3 pitches for out number 1.
Boy, nice to come into a game and as a reliever and have the first guy you face be the opposing pitcher.
No doubt.
You know, you get your 8 warm-up pitches, you feel where your stuff is, you know what you had down the bullpen, but then you're able to kind of get your confidence going by striking the first guy out, and then you turn the lineup over. But Simon, when he's throwing the ball right, I mean, he's got as good a stuff as anybody on this ball club this side of Aroldis Chapman.
We last saw Simon on the 30th of July against San Diego. He has not pitched yet in this series. In that game, he went 2 1/3, allowed 5 runs, 4 hits. Remember, he had allowed 6 runs earned all year coming into that game, when he darn near doubled his total, allowing 5. You have to go back a long way, maybe to that first outing of the year at Washington, the last time you saw him have a bad game.
Yeah. And he's got to be sitting down in the bullpen. He looks at Jonathan Broxton coming over and says, you know, I mean, he throws 95, I throw 95. He's got a good curveball, I've got a good curveball. You know, why can't that be me? And that's what every reliever aspires to be. But Man, you talk about a guy that really uses his legs. I mean, Broxton's a big guy. He's about 6'4", 300. We've been through that. Simon is 6'6". He's got to go 245, 250. But he gets back on his right leg, and he just stays right over that rubber, really drives himself towards home.
Marte, who had that 2-run triple in the fourth, gets himself a single here. He had been 1 for his last 18. Now he has himself a pair of hits in this game. Pirates have been peppering the base paths all afternoon. Scored 4. They've left 7. They have 10 hits. Now Josh Harrison. The last couple of days about Harrison being from Princeton High School here in Cincinnati. What you may not know is he was originally drafted by the Cubs out of UC, traded to the Pirates at the deadline in 09. Tom Gorzolani involved in that deal. Broke camp with the Pirates for the first time this year. Last year 65 games with them. Just turned 25 about a month ago. Ozark's going to knock that ball down but have no other play. That's a double play ball had Marte not been running. Ozark going over to cover. Usually you see the non-pull defender covering.
Well, they switch up assignments based oftentimes on what pitch is going to be thrown to the hitter. And they didn't that time, and the Reds guessed wrong, and they turn a double play ball into an infield, infield hit.
They'll make it 11 Pirate hits. And here they are again threatening. They scored 2 in the second. Threatened, left 2 on in the third. Scored 2 in the fourth. Left them loaded in the fifth. Now have 2 on here with 1 out in the sixth. League's leading hitter and Andrew McCutchen. 0 for 2 today. He drove that ball to center field his last time. Very nice catch by Drew Stubbs.
Well, they pitched him so well, and it looks like it's such a simple strategy. Just simply stay away from him. The one ball that he hit so well, the Stubbs tracked down, that ball kind of drifted back over the center of the plate. He was rung up on a pitch very similar to that by Homer Bailey on a 3-2 count in the first inning.
Light rain coming down now here at Great American Ballpark. First time we've seen this today.
First time we've seen it in a month.
And the fans scamper for cover.
Some of them probably wondering what it is. It's been so long since it's rained around here.
Some are prepared. Might feel good down there.
It's easy to say from where we are.
Indeed. Todd Tischner, the home plate umpire.
I've always thought when it first starts raining, before the field gets wet, the advantage is really with the pitcher because you're going to be able to feel the dry part of the baseball, but that water is dripping off the brim of the cap of your helmet. It's got to be distracting. Boy, power versus power right there. Just rear back and throw a 3-2 fastball. Let McCutchen go ahead and wheel at it. And boy, does he ever get a good cut.
Ludwig will handle it. So McCutchen 0 for 3 today, 1 for 10 in the series. That long RBI drought of his continues. He's driven in but 1 run since July the 18th. 2 out.
Well, it's only raining very slightly here at the ballpark, but as we look across the river over the stands in right center field into Kentucky, it looks like it is bringing it up the Licking River. There goes a weather balloon. Definitely indicating it is raining. Aren't they blue when it's raining?
Thought they were yellow at all times.
That might be a UFO then.
Thinking the same thing. You're on top of your game today.
Not saying much.
Simon looking for the put-away pitch here. Marte at second, Harrison at first. They stayed put as McCutchen flied out. Garrett Jones 2 for 3 today. 4 hits in the series. Got him. 6 strikeouts for Red pitching. 2 more Pirates stranded. begins on Thursday, August the 16th, as the Bengals take on Matt Ryan and the Falcons. And on Friday, August the 17th, Matt Stafford and the Lions head to Baltimore to square off against Ray Lewis and the Ravens. Coverage of both games begins at 8 p.m. Eastern and only on Fox. Look at that hit discrepancy, 11-3 Pirates. They've stranded 9. The Reds left a man on in the first and have not left a runner since. A.J. Burnett is in typical A.J. Burnett form, isn't it?
Well, he picked up right where he left off, and where he left off was against the Chicago Cubs, where he went nearly a no-hitter. In fact, he was 4 outs away from a no-hitter his last time out. Finally gave up 1 hit in that ball game, pitched a shutout.
Well, he's had 14 quality starts and 19 starts this year. He's won 3 straight decisions and 12 of his last 13. What a nice bare-hand pick and throw right there by Harrison.
I'm telling you, that kid can play. He made a dandy play at shortstop the other night, even though he didn't get his runner. He had a great at-bat against Aroldis Chapman. Here he comes on a slow roller play. That is not easy.
Scott Rowland-ish right there. Harrison's had a nice afternoon at the plate, a couple of hits, and makes a very good defensive gem there. So 1 out. Stubbs has been on twice, scored twice. Walk and a home run. His homer is 14th of the year. His 5th since the break.
Look where Burnett has thrown the ball all game long. I mean, this is really the only lesson you can learn if you're Homer Bailey is stay away from mistake pitches. Don't throw the ball belt high on the outer part of the plate that ends up costing you a long ball or an extra base hit. It's what every pitcher does when they're going bad. But Burnett seems to, when he misses down in the zone, or he misses way off the plate. He doesn't miss in a hot spot in the strike zone. I mean, those first 2 or 3 pitches to Drew Stubbs, I mean, he's just pounding the bottom of the strike zone.
Well, he's set down 9 in a row now, and 15 of the last 16. The only Red to reach in that span was Stubbs with the opposite field home run in the 3rd that tied things at that point at 2. So now here's Bruce trying to break this stretch.
You see, he's had Bruce ever since that first at bat when he got a 1-0 fastball, lined it down the right field line for a double, and he drove Drew Stubbs home. He has been looking for another fastball, has been getting nothing but curveballs. And when he does look for the curveball, he gets a fastball.
Strikeout victim is Jay Bruce. Make that 10 in a row now by A.J. Burnett. He's on some sort of roll. His Pirates up by a couple. first. That RBI double by Jay Bruce scored Stubbs, giving the Reds a 1-0 lead. But Neil Walker countered. 2-run blast. Top of the second. Number 14 gave the Pirates a 2-1 lead. Stubbs going the other way. Over the wall and right. Just out of the reach of the glove of Garrett Jones. And that tied things at 2. And then Starling Marte, his 2-run triple to right over the head of Bruce, skipped away from the Reds right fielder. That produced Sanchez and Barmas, and a 4-2 Pirate lead. And A.J. Burnett, boy, has he been stellar. He gets Bruce here to end the bottom of the 6th, make it 10 in a row for him. 16 of the last 17, and the Pirates own a 2-run lead through 6 here in the finale of this weekend 3-game series, a series in which the Reds won the first 2. They were victorious Friday night on the shutout effort of Matt Latos, Jonathan Broxton, and Aroldis Chapman 3-0. Won last night 5-4. And the triple by Rowland and the ground out by Frazier, putting them on top in the 8th. Hannigan didn't see it right away. Ball goes out of play. Alfredo Simon gave up a couple of hits in the 6th. They were stranded. Pittsburgh have left 9 men on. Through it all, as well as A.J. Burnett has thrown, Reds are not able to muster much on the offensive side of things. They are 1 base runner away from bringing the tying run to the plate. Need to keep the Pirates in check here. Be playing inning number 7. Walker's 2 out of 3. Reds fans, if you're looking for a quick and delicious meal the whole family will enjoy, what about a JTM meatball sub kit? Pick one up today in your local grocer's freezer. JTM, let's create great dishes together. Walker, Sanchez, Barajas here in the 7th. After today, the Reds not home again till a week from Tuesday. Make that the 14th of August. They start a 7-game homestand, 3 with the Mets. Walker strikes out, and then that 4-game series with the Cubs that includes that split doubleheader on Saturday, August the 18th. Here's Gabby Sanchez. Flied out, singled, flied out, 1 for 3. Playing in only his 4th game with the Pirates. He's being acquired from the Miami Marlins. I'm talking about those games left against this Pittsburgh club. Pirates will come back here 3rd, 4th, and 5th of September. That's a Monday through Thursday. Pardon me, a Monday through Wednesday. And then the Reds go there 28, 29, and 30 of September. A Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So after today, still 6 between these teams. Good adjustment by Kozar.
Boy, another session by the Reds bullpen that just simply put zeros on the board. They threatened in the 5th. Arredondo came in the ball game with bases loaded, gets a strikeout. They threatened last inning against Simon, but he ends up getting a strikeout to end it, and here he is on the verge of a 1-2-3 7th. Hey, you know, one thing we never got going today, Jim, we talked about pregame that we were going to do is play the third out game during this one. You know, the card game where you pass out the third out cards.
Right.
They were giving them away today down at the Bob Evans tent down the right field line.
Yeah, we did say we were going to do that.
Yeah, we didn't get around to it. Maybe we'll bring them with us and we'll do it on the road. It's a fun little game, and I think they've got one more of these things, one of these promotions coming up, and we'll keep you advised so when you come to the ballpark you can pick up a pack.
Thinking in a hurry, and that's down for a 2-out base hit for Rod Barajas. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't we play that game a couple of times when we were on the radio side during the game?
Yeah, we did. We had Seg involved.
Yes,
Yiddy, yourself, and me. It's a game you actually play at the ballpark.
With cards.
Where you pass out a card. There's only, what, 9 cards.
Yeah.
Every card has a different position player on it, like one has a catcher, one has a pitcher, and so on. And then whoever ends up with the ball at the end of the inning is a winner of that half inning. Doesn't take much to it, really. But I knew that you would excel at it because you're such a good scorekeeper. You know precisely who ends up with the ball at the end of the inning.
You really are fascinated with my scoring technique. Because it is so different than yours. They do not parallel one another in any way, shape, or form.
Like the odd couple,
yes,
in that respect.
I can find any play of any game the entire season.
I can't find my score sheet.
You can't find what happened in the first inning. That's why I keep mine like I do. So if you need something, I'm here for you.
You know what? I am glad you're there. See, Tom Brenneman keeps a nice scorebook, but I can't read his writing. Yours is the kind I would take to a store, copy, and then be able to review as my own. Boy, that didn't get him. It sure came as close as you can without getting one. That was a breaking ball, so there was no malintent. Our performance Honda slow-mo, look at that. Preparing for the worst and only hearing it go by.
There's that scorebook. You can see the highlights right there. Right here. Yeah, right there.
You got color. Yeah, you use a little colored ink. Got a nice little
down here now.
Got a nice little clip right there.
Just in case the wind starts to blow. Media guide. Pirates. Right there. It's all in front of us. Strikeouts in this inning, 3. Check that, 4 in the game for Alfredo Simon. It is stretch time here at Great American Ballpark. We will keep it right here with the singing of God Bless America by Karen Clenny before a big crowd on this Sunday afternoon.
Pirates and the Reds salute the men and women of our armed forces, as well as those who serve to protect in our local police and fire departments. At this time, please help us honor these brave men and women and all our veterans of service, and welcome Karen Clenny as she leads us in the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above.
American Ballpark this season. That's Penn Station, East Coast subs. You can find a Penn Station location near sections 130 and 414, and then enjoy all the baseball action while eating a Penn Station signature sub and those authentic fresh cut fries. You see your Reds here at Great American Ballpark. Call 513-381-REDS. You can visit select Kroger locations, or you can go to Reds.com. 12 hits to 3 for the Pirates and a 4-2 lead. A.J. Burnett, who's gone nothing less than 7 in each of his last 4 starts. Back to the mound here to work to Ryan Ludwig to start the home 7th inning. He's thrown only 70 pitches through 6 innings. Walker has Ludwig played correctly up the middle, and they get him on 1 pitch, 1 out. And it will be Frazier. Odds 0 for 2. 1 pitch to Harrison. How about a 2-pitch inning thus far now for A.J. Burnett? Not that he wasn't being pitch efficient enough.
Well, with 2 pitches and 2 outs, you'd expect Miguel Cairo to go ahead and at least take a pitch, if not a strike. But A.J. Burnett's throwing strikes. He's throwing quality strikes at the bottom end of the strike zone. Combination of some movement, but mostly location. I mean, the way he's pitching ought to be a model for every young pitcher out there watching this ball game. That you don't have to rear back and overthrow the ball. You just throw it down in the zone, let the natural movement take over, and if you miss down. Reds have had very few hard hit balls, very few balls into the outfield.
Going to be a 4-pitch inning here as McCutchen handles the Cairo fly ball. A.J. Burnett making it look easy here today. Pirates have stranded 10. Why? Some big strikeouts for Bailey. That was Barmas right there, who struck out ending the 5th inning. Big strikeout of Jones in the 6th inning. Big strikeout of Barmas again in the 7th inning. 10 stranded for the Pirates. Reds fans looking for a little late magic, a little late action in this game as we enter the 8th. A.J. Burnett has only thrown 74 pitches through 7. Leads it off against Simon.
Reds fans are 3 strikeouts away from pizza and ice cream. Is that what you have?
8. Right.
They get 11.
They get it done.
They can turn their ticket stubs in and get some ice cream and pizza. Or if you're like the cowboy, you put the ice cream on top of the pizza.
Just like his mayonnaise on butter beans. All mixes in together. A.J. Burnett not much interested in hitting at this point. He's got a gem going pitching wise. Sundays on Fox Sports Ohio. Join Tom Brokaw for Boys in the Hall, the personal stories of some of the greatest legends of the game of baseball. After today's game, it's Minnesota Twins Hall of Fame third baseman Harmon Killebrew. Boys in the Hall, presented by Subway Restaurants, where winners eat. Starling Marte hit a big hit in this game back in the 4th. Snapped the 2-2 tie. Headed forward to Pittsburgh, and that's where we are now here in the 8th inning. Marte hit by a pitch.
Well, another breaking ball right there, so there's no bad intent at all on the part of the Reds, and the umpires know that. There's no stare down or anything else. But it was very intense last night. After Josh Harrison got plunked, you may have thought that there'd be some retaliation today. But there was a warning last night, so that put the end of it to that. And that little spinner right there, Marte. That won't even raise a bruise.
No reaction, at least outwardly, from the dugout and Clint Hurdle.
Well, this is a game that's just simply been dominated by the Pirates in almost every facet, with the exception of runs on the board.
Certainly in the hit column. Certainly in the job done by the veteran A.J. Burnett. Wild pickoff throw by Simon. Valdez has to go get it. Going to third and putting the tag on is Frazier. They're going to call Marte out. Third base coach Nick Leyva disagrees.
Well, here comes Clint Hurdle. He went sprinting down inside that dugout. He's going to get right out there in the face of Brian Gorman. And Brian Gorman, remember, was the umpire that threw him out of the ball game last night after about 15 seconds. Let's see how long Hurdle lasts today.
Marte trying to hustle from first to third on that throwing error by Alfredo Simon. Appeared to get in there.
Don't think so.
Great camera work, folks.
I'll tell you, I think Brian Gorman just positioned himself into a spot where he couldn't see that tag and just assumed it happened. We'll take it. How about that for a 1-2-3? Kinda.
Well, let's see if the Reds can turn that break into something come the bottom of the 8th. Has been brought to you by Cincinnati Children's, ranking 3rd in the nation again in the U.S. News and World Report's 2012 Best Children's Hospitals. And by the dependable, long-lasting Chevy Silverado and your tri-state Chevy dealers. A.J. Burnett back to work. He has set down 13 in a row, 19 of 20. He gets Wilson Valdez to start the bottom of the 8th. Last Reds base runner, the opposite field home run by Drew Stubbs in the bottom of the 3rd that tied the game at 2. A.J. Burnett, 74 pitches coming into this inning. Coming off of a complete game effort against the Cubs his last time out. Working into the 8th inning here. Pirates as a team have only 2 complete games. James McDonald has the other. They're about in the middle of the pack in terms of the National League with their 2. And Valdez just adds to the magic that has been A.J. Burnett's work here this afternoon. 1 out. Reminder that after every Reds game, Fox Sports Ohio will break it down for you with interviews with Dusty Baker and Reds players. It's Reds Live post-game, brought to you by King's Honda in the King's Auto Mall. Visit KingsHondaUSA.com. 14 straight by A.J. Burnett. He was very sharp the first time the Reds saw him this year. That was in Pittsburgh on the 30th of May. Although he got a win, he wasn't quite as sharp that second go-round on the 6th of June. 3 runs in 5 innings. After giving up a run in the 1st and that solo homer to Stubbs in the 3rd, untouchable. McCutchen has a beat on him. Now Xavier Paul will bat for Alfredo Simon, who turns in 3 innings worth of scoreless work. Nice work by Alfredo Simon. 3 innings, no runs, 3 hits with 5 strikeouts. Xavier Paul bats now. Paul hitting .368 with 2 RBIs. 4 for 9 as a pinch hitter. Crowd reacted to that check swing strike. Brian Gorman involved again.
Well, that pitch right there has been very tough for, well, the only left-hander in the lineup is Jay Bruce, but he swings over that break. This is the pitch that all right-handers want to do. They throw that little breaking ball, so it kind of, when it finishes, it almost ends up on the back foot of the left-handed hitter. He has been having that spot perfectly laid out today.
He won those 18 games some years ago as a member of the Blue Jays in 08, and that earned him that big contract with New York. He has a great shot to surpass that or at least equal that total this year. Gunning for number 14, looking for a 3-way tie atop the National League leaders board in terms of wins. He's going to make it 16 in a row. 16 straight Reds have been set down by A.J. Burnett as this game heads to the ninth. The Reds need to come from behind victory here. They have one more shot at it against the Pirates and A.J. Burnett. They have been unable to break through against him at all. 16 in a row, 22 of the last 23. They'll try to hold the Pirates in check one more time and then get their crack in the bottom half. And they ask Logan Ondrusek to get it done in the top of the ninth.
Well, so far so good for the Reds bullpen again. It's a repeating story, that is for certain, especially during this winning streak. Arredondo came in the fifth inning, bases loaded, got out of it with a strikeout. 3 shutout innings out of Alfredo Simon, and now the 6'8" right-hander, Logan Ondrusek. Ondrusek last pitched against San Diego, pitched 2/3 of an inning, and the Reds win that ball game. Tell you what, if you're a middle or a long reliever in the Reds bullpen, you're not getting a lot of action out there.
Dusty talked about that in the pregame today with the reporters and said, I really need to get them some work. Everything has been the starter and Broxton and Chapman. Marshall thrown in there as well. Today he's gotten Arredondo, Simon, and now Ondrusek out there. Better than the short end of a 4-2 score. McCutchen going to break that home run and RBI drought over the course of the last 3 weeks. He gets his first RBI of the road trip, of which this is the 10th game for the Pirates, his 23rd overall. That's a 5-2 game, Pittsburgh.
One of the reasons the Reds had held Andrew McCutchen in check is that they were ahead of him in the count nearly every time in these few ball games. But that is a 2-0 fastball right down the can. And he's just too good of a player to do that to.
Center in the 4th inning Friday night, and that home run is 2 hits of this series. Garrett Jones, a pair of singles today. Homer Bailey, 4 2/3, 4 runs as the Reds starter. Jose Arredondo, a third of an inning. Alfredo Simon, 3 shutout innings. Now Logan Ondrusik. That's 10 of them now. 10 strikeouts for Reds pitching. Here's Neil Walker, 1 out, 1 in. 5-2 Pittsburgh in the 9th. This game, the difference between a 500 road trip and a plus 500 road trip for the Pirates. Came in 5-2 through the first 7. Bring a 5-4 record on the trip into this game, and they lead 5-2 in the 9th. They've got all the West Coast teams, and not all of them, I guess most of them, coming in. Arizona, San Diego, and the Dodgers when the Pirates get home. It's a little tougher for them in terms of what they've been experiencing. The Astros and the Cubs. Reds, on the other hand, go out at Milwaukee 3, at Chicago 4. Then home to the Mets. Then the Cubs in for 4. Upcoming schedules for these two teams. Reds in their 9th inning will have the top of the order. Cozart, Stubbs, and Bruce. If the Pirates don't score again, it would be a save situation for Joel Hanrahan, but there's no guarantee, of course, that he will come into this game the way Burnett has been throwing. $38,624 here today. 38,624, not a sellout, but it brings a 3-day total for this big weekend get-together against the Pirates, the first place Reds, second place Buccos, to 121,030. 121,030. Over 40,000 a game. Good support and a good weekend of baseball. And who knows? Maybe some more good times to come in the bottom of the 9th. That one had eyes and got right on into right field off the bat of Walker's 3rd hit. 2 of them in a row that sneak through on the right side. Abby Sanchez does the same thing as Neil Walker did. Pays off.
Now, the Reds have only had 3 hits and they're down by 3, but it's a ball game that you've seen them come back from this type of deficit before, but you really cannot give up much more than what they've gotten already in this inning.
The most hits the Reds have allowed in a game this year is 16. This Pirate team now is 15.
And the Reds are still in the game.
Yeah.
Get him to hit it on the ground. At somebody.
Glad that you clarified that. Those ground balls by Walker and Sanchez were not hit hard at all, but they snuck through. Elbow double plays on either side thus far here today. Joel Hanrahan is up and throwing now in the Pirate bullpen. Barajas really working on Drusic's deliveries over. He's really having to reach back to try to get this fellow. Between the wickets of Frazier on a double play ball will score a run and make it a 6-2 game. Second error of the game for the Reds. That had double play written all over it.
Breaks fielding commandment number 1 right there by letting the ball go between your glove and the ground.
Now it's Clint Barmas. does not look like A.J. Burnett's going to have the opportunity to complete this game. Travis Snyder is on deck.
Is that 11?
That's 11. Pizza and ice cream for everybody. Gives them something to cheer about here today. Ends the inning. Pirates get a couple more, so the Reds come calling in the bottom of the ninth, down by 4. Game brought to you by Miller Lite. It's been all this guy, A.J. Burnett. A walk, 7 strikeouts, 16 in a row, 22 of the last 23. No one has reached since the Stubbs home run in the 3rd. He has been in control, in charge, and of course he will go to the mound now to try to complete this effort. If he can get it done, it'll be a back-to-back complete game for Burnett. There's that one hitter. You see the numbers on that.
So far, he's had 17 innings and he's given up 4 hits. And you watch the guy pitch and you think, well, he's good, but I mean, he doesn't have overpowering stuff. He doesn't have any one pitch that he can go to all the time and retire a hitter. But he commands that strike zone as well as anybody.
Travis Snyder takes over in right field. A little rain shower starts to fall as we play in the bottom of the 9th inning with Cozart leading it off. Two complete games on the year for the Pirates. One by A.J. Burnett. Armas throws out Cozart. Our Nissan drive of the game. It comes off the bat of Drew Stubbs. Significant in the fact that, first of all, it tied the game at 2. Secondly, he's the last Red to reach base in this game now. 17 in a row by A.J. Burnett.
They're going to try to get this game in despite the fact that it is flat out bringing it here, that rain.
Stubbs is 1 for 2 with a walk.
You can hear it coming down. That's how hard it's raining. Umpires, Pirates crossing their fingers.
Drew Drew Stubbs has scored both Reds runs today, and he's now scored multiple runs in 9 of his last 12 games. But barring a big comeback here, it doesn't look like his 40-3 record when he scores is going to stand today. Trying to get that clotting mud out of his cleats. Shiny spots start to show up on the infield. Not that this field doesn't need the rain, and it'll get an opportunity to soak it all in once it's over. Jay today 1 for 3. Burnett trying to make it 19 in a row and 25 of 26 to end things. Count now to Bruce. A.J. Burnett looking for his 14th win, his second complete game. His third win over the Reds. Pirates trying to get 1 of 3 in this series.
A.J. Burnett really wanted that one. That is only his second walk of the day. He didn't have to walk the batter since he walked Drew Stubbs. Second batter he faced in the first inning. Wow. See where they're going after him.
That ends a streak of 18 in a row by A.J. Burnett. .97 is the pitch count for the Pirate right-hander. Ludwig 1 for 3. Bruce and Stubbs have the 3 Reds hits today.
Rob Barajas behind the plate, just kind of urging his pitcher on. Come on, you can do it. Meanwhile, they've taken the tarp off the bullpen mound down in the right field area. And Clint Hurdle has probably hand up and thrown again.
There's the Pirate closer. Bruce takes off. Now Burnett ahead 3-1. Is this it for him right here, Chris?
I would imagine this would be his last guy. There's no doubt. They've gotten Hanrahan up and hot twice. So if you're going to get him up and hot twice, you may as well use him.
To Ludwig. So back-to-back walks. Here comes the manager of the Pirates, Clint Hurdle. Hanrahan has been throwing, and the signal has been made. So A.J. Burnett, ground out to start the inning. Rain starts to come down. Walk to Bruce, walk to Ludwig. And he will not get his second straight complete game. Pirates make a pitching change. It will be a save situation as Burnett leaves and Hanrahan comes in. There's the big Pirate closer looking to shut the door in the bottom of the ninth. For. They also look for some of the grounds crew to come out and redo some of that mound. Make it for a little better footing for Joel Hanrahan.
Well, that's the pad that they put out there so that it cleans your cleats.
Putting a new one in place.
Yeah. Every family of four ought to have one of those. Right by the back door before the kids come inside. .45 games for their closer. Nice earned run average. He can get a little bit wild, though, as you see right there. 21 walks in 42 innings. That's a walk every other inning. And another walk right here would put the Reds within a home run power of tying this baby up. A couple of things working for Hanrahan. One is the fact that he's had 3 complete days off since he was in a ball game. And the last time he was in a game, that was in Chicago, and he pitched a game in which he was just trying to get a tune-up. And he gave up 5 hits and 3 runs. So That and the fact that you've got a little bit of a wet mound. A guy that is a full effort type pitcher may slip a little bit, and this could be interesting here if the Reds are able to catch a break.
You can see there he's converted 11 straight saves. He's tied with Atlanta's Craig Kimbrell for the league lead in saves with 31. He saved 40 for this Pirates club a year ago. Last time he blew a save was on the 3rd of July against Houston. First Pirate to have back-to-back 30 save seasons since Kent Tekulve, 78-79. And he gets Frazier. You're wondering about why this becomes a save situation. The tying run is on deck. That's Cairo. That makes it the save situation for Hanrahan.
We're 98 at the top of the strike zone.
Frazier has but one at bat against Hanrahan, and he had a hit. And he's down now 2 strikes.
Well, he follows a 98 with an 88. Frazier, I think, when he started that swing, thought he was all over that pitch.
Well, a long ball here will make it very interesting and make that top of the 9th big for the Pirates. Snyder, the right fielder, calls everybody off and makes the catch, and the Pirates get the final game of this series by the final score of 6-2, although the Reds take 2 out of 3. And if you'd have told Reds fans you're going to get 2 out of 3 from the second place Pirates, they'd have been pretty happy.
Yeah, but you know, don't you have a feeling of somewhat of a disappointment here? I mean, the anticipation of a sweep, the way the Reds are rolling along. Yes, it was A.J. Burnett. Yes, he's gunning for his 14th win. But the fact that, you know, the Reds look like they matched up in this game pretty well. They thought they could take him. You know, you want to be grateful for what you have, but boy, if you're like Dusty Baker and everybody else who's seen crazy things happen in baseball, you want to nail down every win you can. But when you're out hit 15-3, you're lucky to be looking at possibly in the game in the 9th inning anyhow.
Well, the Reds will pack things up, head to Milwaukee. Pirates pack up, head home, and a 10-game homestand. Final game of this series goes to the Pirates 6-2. Stay with us now. Reds Live postgame presented by Kings Honda is next.